So between last night and today, it's been great for Cowboys fans. Last night, Lyle Collins signs a extension, 5 years, $50 million with $35 million guaranteed. Personally, I'm not a fan of Lyle. I think he's always had bad hands, even when he played at guard with us. But it's a good move to solidify the offensive line if you're not sure what you have in Connor Williams at tackle and Connor McGovern at guard. I do think that contract does kind of make things weird for a guy like Byron Jones, who is kind of on the rise since he's been back at corner. I've been kind of vocal about thinking that the coaching staff did him a disservice by having him at safety. But that can mean that somebody like him could be possibly a cap casualty. I know that Dallas has a lot of cap space going into the 2020 season, but who knows if Byron wouldn't want to pursue other options from there. That just makes things a little weird right now. But then this morning, I wake up at 7-something in the morning, and I see that Zeke Elliott signed his extension. Finally. Zeke watch is over. Hashtag Zeke watch done. But he signed an extension for 6 years, $90 million, and $50 million of that guaranteed. It's an extension, so that makes his total deal right now 8 years and $103 million, and 63 of that guaranteed, because these next 2 years being the end of his rookie deal are fully guaranteed. I feel like that could really tie him up for like being like a lifelong Cowboy, because in total, if he plays out that entire 8-year contract, he'll have been in the league for 11 years. Running backs generally don't have a lifespan too much longer than that. Like, for example, Emmitt Smith played 13 years. But I feel like Zeke had to do what he did. He kind of had to hold Jerry and Steven in the way just to kind of put a little urgency in it, because back at the beginning of the offseason, before the draft and all of that, they were like, oh, we have a couple years or a couple months to get Zeke done. And I don't think that really vibed well with him. He kind of had to test their gangster a little bit, and he ended up winning out on that. He got exactly what he was looking for. And, get paid, young boy, get paid. But it's still a lot more work to be done. Like, you still got Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott, who don't have new contracts yet. And personally, I feel like they'll be signed in that order. Because if you sign Amari Cooper right now, which he's making on his 5th year option level, he's making $16 million this year. And don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Not an exact numbers guy. But if you sign him to a long-term contract and get him chained down for long-term under the Cowboys, that'll actually open up some cap space that could then be used to sign Dak Prescott this same offseason as well. And I think that's personally the good way to do it, because you never really want to play games with your quarterback. They got to get paid. It's much easier to find any other position than it is to find a quarterback and be successful. So, yeah, I mean, people have really forgotten that Jalen Smith, of course, got done, a week or two ago. And then back in the spring, DeMarcus Lawrence got paid. So Dallas has really been opening up their wallet. And I don't think that the media has really, highlighted that at all. And then I've been trying to play out the front office, like the Joneses, to be, cheap. But they've been paying people all offseason. It just hasn't been the high-profile people like your Dak, Zeke, and Amari. But it had to get done eventually. So the season starts up this week, and we're gonna go and play the Giants, and give them that work, because they probably weren't really game planning for Zeke without him being even in the country or under contract. So that's going to really change up things for how they approach that game. More to come. I'm going to do a game prediction for the Giants, and then, of course, I'm going to do post-game stuff after that. Until then, that's all we got.